Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan, is the story of a man who is obsessed with creating something terrifying but magnanimous. Oppenheimer is based on the life of nuclear scientist Robert J. Oppenheimer, who led the team that invented the atomic bomb, which was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 during World War II. The film is about Oppenheimer's life before he invented the bomb, when he was almost a card carrying communist, going around the world meeting the brightest mind in physics, and the years after it when he was accused of divulging secrets to the Soviets due to his earlier flirtations with the communist ideas. Basically, the beginning of 20th century was the beginning of a lot of things. New ideas about how to run society, the revolution in Russia in 1917, and the birth of quantum physics. In this age, universities were at the center of this influx of ideas. It was not a surprise for an academic like Oppenheimer to be influenced by these ideas. But these ideas had devastating consequences for the world. Perhaps Albert Einstein knew the dangers of weaponizing nuclear energy, and that is why he refused point blank to help US and its allies in any way in creation of the atomic bombs. Cillian Murphy, who plays Oppenheimer, was able to show this ambiguity well on screen, of someone who is not completely sure of the potential of what he has created and someone who was in awe of his creation. Murphy's performance packs a punch in this movie. Robert Downing Jr., who plays Lewis Strauss, gives a solid performance too, proving to the world that he is more than just an Iron Man. The film also stars Emily Blunt, who plays Oppenheimer's wife Kitty, and Florence Pugh, who plays Jean Tatalog, Oppenheimer's love interest. His affair with Jean Tatalog, an emotionally volatile person who does not fully return Oppenheimer's love for her and yet doesn't want to completely let go of him. She is also someone with whom Oppenheimer feels most thrill. He feels very much like the same way about the atomic bomb also, as in one scene in which Gita Shloka, I have become death, destroyer of the world, were recited by Oppenheimer. It comes when he is intimate with Jean Tatalog, and the second time it comes when the Trinity test was successfully conducted. It shows the pleasure, power, and godlike omnipotence Oppenheimer felt in these situations. His wife Kitty is dependable and devoted to Oppenheimer, and her relationship with Oppenheimer provides him support when he is facing the trial, and also providing him with valuable counsel when he needed the most. His relationship with Jean Tatalog is destructive for him, and her suicide gives him trauma for life and also made him liable for a trial in court. His relationship with both women parallels his relationship with science. The creative aspect of it gave him accolades, helped him set up institutions for research, and the destructive aspect of it gave him guilt for life for playing the part in the deaths of the hundreds and thousands of innocent people. Both Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh in their respective roles delivers compelling performances. The film also stars Matt Damon and also a number of cameos from many Hollywood stars. The film's running time is close to 3 hours, which honestly didn't feel lengthy at all. In fact, by the end of the movie, I felt like I wanted more from the movie. Background score plays a huge role in every Christopher Nolan film. The background score in this film by Ludwig Göransson adds to the atmosphere of the film. Nolan's films have always been criticized for being expository, and this film is no exception. But somehow, I don't find the scientists talking about quantum science or politics to be bothersome. Intellectuals talk about stuff that matters because they live it. Adding such conversations to the movie adds believability to the characters and to the overall atmosphere of the movie. I personally don't like it when people want everything in the film to be dumbed down so that everyone can understand. Movies are not just entertainment, they are experiences. And sometimes to get an experience, one first has to prepare themselves to get an experience. I personally did not find all the talk about quantum physics in the movie difficult to understand. The narrative structure of the movie, like in all Christopher Nolan's film, is back and forth, going between three different timelines, one showing Oppenheimer's life before he created the bomb, the one in which he was at Los Alamos where the bomb was created, and the one after where he was questioned regarding his allegiance to the communist ideology. Now much is said about the Oppenheimer's use of Gita to justify what he has created. We don't know for sure, but if the reality is closer to what is shown in the movie, then I think he misinterpreted the text. Oppenheimer reads the shloka from the Gita that says, "I have become death, destroyer of the worlds." This quote, and in fact his entire reading of Gita, helps him justify the creation and usage of nuclear bomb. But how? In the Gita, when Krishna says this to Arjun, Arjun was afraid to take up arms against his own kin, thinking that how could he kill those with whom he has played in his childhood. It is then Krishna shows him his cosmic avatar and tells him not to be afraid of death, and that life and death are all same to him, as Krishna is stand-in for the universe itself. When Oppenheimer reads this, he also feels like God himself, because he has also created something that can potentially destroy the world. So Oppenheimer has now god-like powers of creating massive destruction. And how does he justify to himself creating such a thing? Even if it is to be used on Nazis and Japanese who were committing the most heinous crimes on humanity during the World War II, it is because of his reading of Gita he thought that he had attained this detachment from the consequences of what he is creating. It is not the scripture per se, but his interpretation of it which might have led him to have this distant perspective that maybe since he has created the atomic bomb, he has attained a god-like stature like Krishna in Gita. He identified himself with Krishna, the god, not with Arjun, the mortal man seeking guidance from Krishna. So one can say that to some extent Oppenheimer was delusional, and he could never really attain that detached perspective, because as soon as the bomb was dropped, he started having nightmares and terrible guilt of having done what he did. At first he justified the bomb droppings on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but eventually because of his guilt, he discouraged the use of nuclear weapons any further. The film shows this guilt and the fear he felt. At no point does it seem like the film is eulogizing him as a hero. He may be a great American hero, but to the world he will always be someone who created something, the impact of which he did not fully understand. Oppenheimer in the end is a cautionary tale about a man of science who perhaps did not think through the destructive potential of what he had created. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.